Hi, everybody. My name is Craig Blanchett, and it's my pleasure really to host this call. Every week we do a health coach huddle, and basically this meeting starts at 9, goes from 9 to 10, and Pacific time. And so if you're watching this on Facebook right now, I invite you to jump over onto Zoom. You can do that by pulling up your Zoom app. And the meeting ID is actually the same number as my cell phone. It's not the same thing, but it's the same ID. So it's 503-974-1671. And so you can join us here every week, every Friday morning, and we'll be talking about a number of different things. I just said just a minute ago, one of the main pieces that we do on this Friday huddle up is, even though we're health coaches, we're all clients as well. So we're all working on our own personal health journey. And we've decided to not only work on our own skills, but then be able to transfer those to other people and help other people that want to become healthier than they currently are do that very thing. And so if you are watching this live, you can actually go to your favorite podcast app and you can search for Team Blanchett, and you can actually subscribe to an audio podcast where you can listen to these every week. So sometimes you'll miss, and that way you'll be able to get them later, or maybe we'll say something during the meeting that you missed that you wanted to go over again. And so you can do that there. I also have a Vimeo channel. So if you go to Vimeo and type in Blanchett, you'll find the video version, and you can subscribe to those as well. Now, what does it mean to subscribe to something? Well, when I subscribe to it, just like a newspaper, I no longer have to go to the store to get the newspaper. They automatically deliver it to my door every morning, right? If it's a daily paper. Well, with the podcast, you subscribe to a digital content. And so we do one of these every week. And so it will automatically be delivered virtually to your phone with a little red dot saying there's something new. And so you don't have to you don't have to manually go to a website and then click on some things and then listen to it. It's automatically right there in your pocket on your phone, ready to be listened to. You can also do that with our support community, our optimal well-being community, which we have 3 episodes every week that are recorded brand new. One of them is hosted by a doctor, one of them hosted by a nurse, and one of them is hosted by a coach that could be a doctor or a nurse or just a veteran health coach. And so those are typically what we call our support calls. Those are all available via podcast as well. So you can search for TSFL in your favorite podcast app, and you can then subscribe. And guess what? We'll have somebody automatically deliver that every week when there's a new episode. So if you're on Facebook and you want to jump over to Zoom, it's 503-974-1671. That's where we're meeting live. We've got a packed house, almost 20 coaches that are dialed in here and ready to learn. So we'll see you on Zoom soon. All right, guys. So there we go. I've been watching some different podcasts, and some of them start with a little Facebook Live to get people to come over to their live feed, and so it's another way of creating interest. And so I'm kind of playing around with that, and so hopefully that's working. But welcome everybody. I know we have some guests this morning. For those of you that don't know me yet, I'm Craig Blanchett. I've been a health coach for a little more than 6 years, and I'm your great-great-great-grandpa health person, I guess, in your life. And so I started my journey. I was about 50 pounds overweight, and I needed to basically kind of get back into shape and kind of get my life back. And I met a person who was a health coach, and he ended up telling me about the program. Initially, I said I wasn't interested, like many of you possibly. And I'm glad my wife said she was quite interested, because it's changed my life in every way, actually, every way. And so I think this is the first time that I'm broadcasting from my new office. So we've been saving our pennies and nickels and dimes and maybe even a few dollars for the last 3 years. And we were able to have a home built. So I have a new office, and it's kind of exciting. Maybe one day you guys can come over and we'll sit at that table there and we'll have a health coach meeting for some reason. I don't know. Why would we, right? We can just do it right here. You could sit in your comfortable office. But anyway, so I lost my 50 pounds and literally I've kept it off and been able to maintain, I haven't been maintaining a health. I've been continuing to refine and increase the quality of the health in my life, like many of you. And so it's really an honor to be here. And so at some point, I know Linda, she became a client of mine, her and Jay. And then one day Linda said, hey, I've got some people around me that I'd like to help. And so she decided to go through our health coach training program and start paying it forward and helping some other people. And I know many of you, that's the same story. But I wanted to bring out Linda specifically because I think she has a couple of guests that are on today. And so I believe it's Holly for sure. And so I'm going to, let's see, Holly, if you'll start your video and just tell us where you're from. Obviously, I think Linda, Jay's.
Obviously, you're wrong, but it's okay.
Oh, am I wrong?
Did not invite her. I can't claim Holly. I wish I could.
Yeah. Hi, Holly. So maybe it's Alex that invited you. So tell us who invited you, where you're from, and just a little something about your health journey.
Well, yes, it was Alex that invited me. I'm from Southwest Washington, La Center area.
I've heard of that.
Yes. And a little bit about me. I joined the program. This is actually my second time joining it. But,
it is. Yeah.
My husband and I, we've just kind of decided that, you know what, enough is enough. We really want to get back to being healthy, lose some weight and get more energy and just gain some strength and some health in our life. So that's what we did, and we decided to go for it. And we're 6 weeks into the program, and I've personally have lost 9 pounds now and am feeling great.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this. Well, welcome basically. And so I'm glad that Alex is an amazing coach. And so you got a great support system. And just so you know, Holly, so if you think about the family tree, you're like the newest baby of the family. And then Alex would be your health father, if you will. And then I would be your health grandpa, if you will. And so, welcome back, evidently, since I am a grandpa.
We hope, Holly, that you'll come back and join us again after Craig did that.
For some of you, I'm a great-great-grandpa, and you can tell memory is one of the first things to go. And so look at that.
Well, yeah, Craig, you actually met Joe and Holly on a video chat where I had invited them to meet, and you've met them twice now.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So
I do a lot of those, by the way.
Rewired. And one of those I actually didn't even show up for, and you actually met them.
I know exactly who she is. I didn't recognize without all the kids running around in the background.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know exactly who you are. I can tell you a bunch about yourself now. So,
well, just the other cool thing is that Joe, her husband, he's done great too. They decided to do it together as a team, and Joe, he's had a pretty good transformation in a very short time.
Yeah.
I think the main thing I see, besides that he's lost a ton of weight, I can't believe how quick that guy makes a change. I'm sure it's annoying, Holly, right? Like,
yeah, very. He's complaining because he slowed down. It's like, really?
Yeah. Is he like down 17 pounds or something, 18 pounds now?
Yeah.
But the thing is they invited me to go rock climbing the other day. And that's how much energy they're feeling. They're like, hey, you want to go rock climbing with us? And so we went rock climbing, like, so fun.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, welcome back, Holly. I do completely remember you, by the way. All right. So who else do we have? I'm an amateur, just so you guys know, anybody can coach. Look at me. Oh my goodness. All right. So Linda, did you have any guests that were on today? You do. Okay. Will you save me?
She's got her mouth full.
Sorry, I was cleaning my teeth. Didn't have to say that out loud. Sorry. I'm not sure. Terry Clement. She's at work. I'm not even sure if she's able to unmute.
She did, and she's here.
She did. Hi, Terry.
Hi.
Yay. Do you want to just share a little bit about being on the Healthy Games and you're just kind of checking out what we do as crazy people who help other people get healthy?
Sure. I started on the game challenge thing that I'm doing, and a friend of mine, Wendy, who is also your client, I guess, she, I don't know, told me about it, and I need to lose probably 10 or 15, 20, somewhere in there pounds. And it's just always kind of creeps back on. So I started and I've lost 7 pounds, and I don't really know what I want to do with my life. So I'm checking this out.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Well, welcome to this crazy group. You seem like you might fit right in, trying to figure things out.
I'll brag on her real quick. She's an amazing team member and just encourages everybody. Nobody goes without a positive comment from Terry. So
Yeah,
she's got a lot of value to bring.
Yeah, I think Linda's team, I think she stacked her team with just awesome people, because I've met a number of them and it's like, oh my goodness, her team is so much.
I did.
So good. Like, oh my goodness.
They're all cooler than me.
Yeah. Because sometimes you get a team, you never know who's going to play and who's going to not. And some people have 5 points, and it's like, I keep meeting all these people that are killing it. It's like, good job, Linda. Way to build an awesome team. So welcome, Terry. Now, what do you do? It looks like you might be in a classroom.
I'm actually at my church, and what I'm doing while I'm trying to figure out what to do with my life is the custodial work at our church, and kind of volunteering, doing things with, I really want to work with women and helping them heal emotionally, and I feel like maybe this whole thing would fit into some of that. So, anyway.
Emotions, one of the things, thank you, by the way. And we do find, well, first of all, if anybody's considering a role as a coach or a health coach in their life, you have to like people, because you don't coach chairs or, doors, you coach human beings, right? And so you have a heart for people. Well, that's a huge win right there. And secondary, focusing, Linda, she has a heart for women as well, younger women. And that's been one of her big things, is to partner up and mentor. And this program goes far beyond the physical changes. And so awesome to have you. I hope you enjoy the craziness that happens here on Friday.
Well, I have so far, but I'm going to go back off of video and keep working.
Yeah. All right.
So,
right. Good
thanks.
to have you. Yep. Okay. It looks like all the rest of the names and faces are familiar. Now, Dean, it's been a little time since we've seen you. Dean was out of the country doing a little bit of vacationing. Do you have a 1-minute synopsis of something that you were able to enjoy because of your healthier lifestyle while you were vacationing? Anything to share with us? Welcome.
Yeah, it was just, hi, everyone. It was great to, we did a lot of walking. Some days were like 6 miles a day.
Where did you go?
We were in the Netherlands visiting Barb's family.
Okay.
So it was great. It's definitely a different lifestyle there. It's so neat to watch grandmas and grandpas on Sundays riding their bicycles all over the place. It's just a different culture. Mm-hmm. And we kind of immersed ourselves in the true part of the culture and visited several cities. So a lot of active lifestyle things. I mean, kids don't get bused to school. They either walk or they ride their bikes. Mm-hmm. Just things like that. It's just very common. So I got to do some cycling, obviously, and that was fun. But just getting to walk around and up and down stairs. Stairs there are so much different than stairs here. We'd be suing people if we had the kind of stairs they had there in Europe. So it was fun. So I had a great time. Nice to be home.
Yeah, good to see you. Well, and it's interesting that I saw lots of pictures of you riding bikes. I guess that's not only is that something that's expected that everyone does there, but you have built a level of health in your life that allows you to do all those stairs and to ride all those bikes and to do all those things. Because I talked about this idea that if you're thinking about, if someone called you and said, let's drive across the country, would you have a car that would make it? Have you maintained your car well enough that you could just hop in and drive across the country? And so you have, your car that gets you around is your body, and you have, you've maintained it, and you've refurbished it, if you will. And so you could go and just pick up and go. Not only you, but your wife Barb as well. And so it's inspiring. That's where health actually makes the connection to the actual world and life you live in. So great stuff. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to jump in. We've got a couple of things that I want to cover today. We have so much information today that I'm just going to briefly touch on, and maybe we can have just maybe a 5-minute discussion on the support calls for this week. This week's one of the highlights of the week was the Habits of Health call. We had the reason why I know so much about it is I was the technical back end for the, does that mean I was the technical butt of the conversation? Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, I was the guy that ran the tech for Dee Garcia. So you guys know Dr. Dee Garcia. She's an oncologist. So that means her specialty is dealing with cancer, but her specialty was a specific kind of oncology, which was breast cancer. And so she has a lot of passionate opinions, but they're not just opinions. They're based upon research and they're facts, and she's very well read. And so she led the Habits of Health webinar on Wednesday, which will be out. It has to go through compliance before it's published now. And so we're making sure everything is shored up, so we're full integrity. And so it will be out soon and available on podcast. But she recorded that on Wednesday and talked about it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so she had a 30-minute presentation on some fascinating information about how we can turn on and turn off genes, how the things that we put in our mouth have way more impact on disease than any medication known to man, any magic invention. And the benefit of nutritional medicine, if you will, food as medicine, is that you don't have the negative side effects of man-made medicines. And so you're able to turn on and turn off genes so that they, so you can turn off the genes for breast cancer by the things that you do. Even if you have a predisposition for that, you can turn them on and turn off. That's called epigenetics. And then she talked about the value of soy and research that is done on plant-based diets and the China study. All these really great information. And so I want to encourage you. Who here was able, I sent out some messages to quite a few, but does anybody here watch that live that's on? Let's show of hands. A few of you. Yeah. Did you, I don't know, Betsy or Diane, do you have, only because you're ladies, do you have anything that popped out to you that you wanted to reinforce or mention with us now? And I just kind of threw you under the bus there, but.
Well, I think like what you just said, though, you just kind of said it about the role that nutrition has and how it can really, I look at genetics like a path, and by changing your lifestyle and your nutrition, you don't have to be on that path. It's like taking an alternate route. So I think that's where all the hope comes, because I think, and you probably have had clients come up to you, everyone in my family dies of this, that, or the other. And so they define themselves that way, and it doesn't have to be that way. And that's where the hope is. So, and that's huge.
Yeah. They say that your genetics are 30% and your lifestyle is 70. And I don't know about you, but I know that 70 is a bigger number than 30 every time I've checked. And so if you can overpower that 30 with the 70, which seems like a pretty easy thing to do, as long as you know what to do with the 70. And that's what we teach in our program. Betsy, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Craig and I often do parallels, and, we often hear people that say, I got a lemon of a car. It just isn't working. And you look at their car and they've trashed it out, that it's not working right. And I think we've learned as health coaches, and that's what Dr. Garcia was trying to help people understand. yeah, your mom may have died of breast cancer, but she may have, I don't want to say contracted, but she may have had breast cancer because of her lifestyle choices, as well as maybe a little bit of her genealogy, but it was a lifestyle choice that triggered the genealogy. Is that correct, Diane? Does that kind of follow correctly with what I heard?
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, you don't have a bad car. You have to take care of the car
differently
as we have to take care of our bodies. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
she's really just straightforward. I mean, I love how straightforward she is with her information. Very scientific, very factual.
Yeah, she didn't quote in just her intuition, but she quoted studies and facts and reality. So it's interesting.
Sometimes you do.
Go ahead, Danielle.
Sometimes you do get a bad car, right? And sometimes you do get a bad genetic lot. But the thing is, if you get the bad car and you're proactive, the car will perform better for you. And the same with your body. If you get that bad genetic card, you're just born with some things that are likely going to come up. You can often delay it, even prevent, if you're proactive with it, rather than just say, hey, it's what I'm dealt with.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that what that's really interesting is, as you're saying that, there's a little bit of weightiness. Who felt the kind of weightiness there about the reality that my choices affect my future, and that my possibility of contracting a disease rests 70% on my shoulders, if you will. I don't know. That felt kind of weighty to me without the information in the community, and without this, I would be a little bit panicky.
And that's not really shared.
Right.
I don't think. I mean, I've never heard that.
Well, doctors don't.
Breast cancer, NFL games, or all the stuff, all the promotion. You never hear about that. It almost like is inevitable. If you're a woman in America, you are most likely going to contract some type of cancer, because so many people. And yet, if you look at the unhealth of our country, how are we not seeing that those are married together? The stress, all of it compiled together. Sorry to cut you off, Craig. Yeah, no, as Diane was saying.
You're exactly right. When Martin and I were just at a doctor's office yesterday, and you know, he was saying that a mother came in and their child was obese, and overweight and obese and morbidly obese are three different terms. And when we see people that technically are morbidly obese, we look in, or we think, oh, that person's obese, but technically that person is morbidly obese. Many people are obese and they just think they have a few extra pounds on, because obese is a specific kind of category. And the people that are technically overweight, we consider those healthy. The world looks at those and goes, yeah, they're killing it, but they're actually, and then the people that are at a healthy weight, they must have cancer. You know, it's what people think a lot of times. It's crazy. And so he said, he's told this mom that her child was overweight, in a gentle way, and that, you know, and then she took it personally and then went to the board of administration and reported him. Think of how crazy that is. She was offended because she took it personally, and nobody wants to take responsibility. That, I mean, maybe they don't know what to do and they feel hopeless, but oh my goodness, are we needed out there? Are we needed as rays of hope that can partner with people? That's what we do, right? We come alongside them. We don't push or pull, we partner. And so I just love being part of this community, because we can come alongside that mom and say, hey, I know you're feeling hopeless, but I've got a few things that are working for me. Why don't we let's do this together. Let's change that for you and your son, your daughter or son. So anyway, I just hope that gives you a good shot in the arm that we really do have we have a bag of hope that we can spread around. And it's real. I see your guys' lives change. It's real. So I want to show a couple things this morning. Thanks for that little discussion. Betsy recently said, how do we find the podcasts or the leadership call on recordings? Because they're not available through the standard podcast channel. And they're not because they our leadership trainings are primarily focused on coaches, people that are coaches, and the support calls are for everyone. So they have those a little bit more hidden or protected. And so I'm going to share my screen because I want you guys all to be able to find these in the future and be able to see where they're at. So if you go to your office in motion, so this is what we call the back office, and it's myofficeinmotion.com, and every coach has one of these. And you click over here on resources, and you can see that the second one down that list says leadership calls, right? So resources, leadership calls. Hopefully that's super, super simple. And then you can see all of them here. And then, October 3rd, September 26th, September 19th, September 12th. So they have like the last 4 here. And then it also gives you information if you want to join the webinar live. And that's Mondays at 6 p.m. Pacific. And so Betsy said this morning while she was getting ready, she just clicked on one of these and had it play through her iPhone, and she was able to listen to the call while she was getting ready for the day. And so that is how you can do them. It's a little bit more clicks than having it automatically delivered, but though that is where you can listen to the leadership calls. And the leadership call is really where you get a pulse on what's happening behind the scenes with Dr. A, what's coming up, what events you should be aware of, and how to really stay plugged in as a health coach. This is where the boat's going, and it's good to know what's ahead. So that's one thing about the leadership calls and how to listen to those recordings. Next up, I have, go ahead, Daniela, question?
Yeah, I just had a quick question on that. So maybe I didn't go through far enough, but from what I could see, we have the leadership call and the starting point, but is the other one also there?
No, basically what we have is we've got 2 levels of training every Monday. One is the leadership call, which is like a 15-minute. The first 15 minutes is sort of an overview, introduction, kind of an update. And then the next 45 minutes, they do what we call starting point. And so if you're a new health coach getting started, they'll have a topic about, how to just some basic skill sets. Because, not everybody, some people that get involved in health coaching, their sponsor, their coach is still very new too. And they don't have all their skill sets and stuff plugged in. And so that is a great place. Once a week, you can go and just get fed into and learn some basic coaching skills. For folks that have our senior coach, means you have at least 5 clients or more, then there's another training offered, but it's not every week, I believe. Alex, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I think they go in short blocks, 6-week blocks. Do you know of any difference on that?
I don't know of any difference on that. I've seen them pretty consistent lately.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's like a break that's supposed to happen. I did hear rumor of that, but I haven't seen it yet.
So if you're a senior coach or above, then you would split off into a different room. So think of Zoom as a big conference or convention center, and you would the people that are senior coach stay seated, and the other people get up and go to a different room for a different speaker, a different content. And so if you're more than senior coach, that's how. My
general understanding of it is that the starting point is going to pretty much within 1 or 2 starting points cover everything and then keep repeating itself over and over and over. Whereas the other leadership, the higher up senior and above training goes through a series and then it repeats itself and adds any upgrades. But it's going to be repetitive as well, because we don't want to keep bringing in new. We want to just keep forming and founding. And I actually chose to go on the senior coach, the new starting point training again, and then watch the other one on recording, because I wanted to really check that I was doing the starting stuff within the new system. So go back. Don't think, just because I'm a senior above, I'd never want to watch the starting point, especially if you're bringing coaches on your team.
Yeah. And so excellent. And when you said they're going to be repeating, the way that we learn is through repetition. So just because you've listened to those once doesn't mean it's not a good idea. So we're either learning or we're relearning or refreshing those things, because there's nothing really new about health coaching. There's renewing the things that all of us know. And that's actually going to take me right into the next topic. So perfect transition, Alex. So I want to bring on Cindy Noble. There she is. And so Cindy is working with Linda, and she's just just really blossoming as a health coach. And one of the things that's been happening is she is a referral magnet. She's just like, literally, people are just coming out of the woodworks. And so I wanted to discuss with her a little bit this morning about, because Cindy doesn't know what it's like to be somebody else, by the way. None of us do. Right? We all just live in our own little reality, and we think that what's normal for us is normal for everybody. Right? And so you may not know that something that you're doing is unique or is amazing, because you're just kind of working it out. But it's different than what we're doing, because many of us don't see the kind of referrals that you're seeing. And so I want to just kind of a little bit about, what you do for your profession and what it looks like, where these people are coming from and how you have connected with them just so naturally. It's just part of who you are. So welcome, Cindy. And I know you may have some background noise and stuff, and that's totally appropriate on the Health Coach Huddle.
No, that's okay. I actually told my husband to take care of the little one, and I'm in the basement. So
nice. Oh, fun.
And it's freezing down here.
Yeah.
But thank you, Craig. Well, actually, you would be my grandpa, Craig, too, right?
Yeah.
So
Grandpa Coach.
In the Philippines, I'm Grandpa's Lolo, so I can call you Lolo, Craig.
Yeah.
From now on.
Perfect. Yeah.
So thank you for just this time. Just a quick thing about myself. So I've been a health coach since I started with Take Shape September of last year. I've been a health coach since November. And I feel like this journey in being a health coach, is just an amazing one. I'm also a registered nurse. I work with mom and babies, and then I'm also a pastor's wife and a church leader, aside from being a mom of 3, a wife, and also a full-time student. So a lot is going on with my life. But these last couple months, I've been really blessed with Craig, with getting referrals and getting my name and just kind of what I do as a health coach out there. And I guess really quickly, it just started out with a couple months ago. I think when I went to my first health coach huddle, it was one of these, and I think it's one of the huddles when we talked about how when we talk about being a health coach or talk about Take Shape, how our whys, people want to know more about our whys as opposed to our hows. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember us talking about that, and that really struck a chord with me. It really made me change my perspective on, yes, I feel like I've already was doing that, but I felt like I needed to focus on it more. And so I wanted to kind of go through the process of how I've changed shortly throughout these last couple months. So normally what I do is before with referrals or anyone, I like to set them up. I like to set them up with a voicemail. I like to set them up with a text message and say, hey, thank you for, I heard that your friend heard that you're interested in learning about health and starting your health journey. Just want to let you know that I'm not a diet coach, a health coach. I'm a wellness optimal health coach, and weight loss is a component, but it's not an overall the main thing. We focus on overall health and how to maintain it for a lifetime. And then I let them know in that text message is I focus on you, and the phone call, we're going to set up a time because I want to focus on you, and I want to listen to your heart. I want to see why. And that's what I do, whether in a text or a voicemail. So when I talk about the perspective that it changed, I really, I love the Lord, and I work I don't work. I serve in the church. I serve as a nurse, and I serve in my family. And I wanted to bring that servant's heart into my coaching, because and we talk about this. I hear you guys talk about this all the time. It's not about us. It's about them, and it's about what can we do to help them. Is this what we have to offer right for them? And of course, as coaches, we've all been clients, and we know that it works, and we know that the programs that we've been in, whether the 5-in-1 or the 3-in-3, we know that it works, and we know that with the support of the health coach, it's phenomenal. So it really boosted my confidence level to say, hey, the things that I do at work, the things that I do at church, I can integrate it with my coaching, because that's what I love to do. I love to serve people. I love to show them that, hey, I'm not doing this for me. Yes, I don't tell them this, but yes, the money is the bonus, but that's not what is important to me. And even beginning when I signed on a coach, I was like, Linda, I just want to help people because she's helped me so much. So basically, I had to change the way that I thought about it. I wanted to hear more about the why, and instead of try to make it so important about explaining the how. And so I wanted to hear them out. I wanted to hear the why, like right out of the gate. Yes, I give them the wellness eval. We all know that that's important for them to take. That way we know where they're coming from, that they can see visually where they're coming from. I know that's important. But when I start the call, I say, hey, remember that wellness eval? Yes, we're going to go over that, but I want you to put it to the side. And I just want to listen to what's motivating you. Why do you want to get healthy? And what motivated you to reach out to your friend or to me? And that's what I want to do. I want to hear them. I want them to be able to take the lead in this conversation. And then I have the wellness eval with me as well. I wanted to take the lead, but then like guiding them underneath the surface. I think when I talked to Linda, she said, they're like the boat, rowing, but I'm the current that's kind of helping them along. So as I listen to their why, I can pull out, so you said that you're tired of being tired. So on a scale of 1 to 10 with physical activity or your energy, what would you give yourself? And if you were here, what would it look like for you? Mm-hmm. So I'm letting them talk and then me acknowledge their answer by bringing back the wellness eval. So then I'm not completely just throwing it off to the side, because we all know that we use that too, and it's important. So I think this last month, Craig, you had mentioned the referrals, and it kind of surprised me too. I'm like, wow, I'm getting all these referrals. My friends are calling me, hey, my friend wants to know about this. She's seeing what I'm doing, and I'm like, So, and last month was a big kind of referral month for me, and so I'm like, what's really going on here, and what when I was talking to Linda and just kind of thinking about how did this come about, and why did I feel like, it's getting better for me as far as getting referrals and getting people to join us, is I really mentioned to my clients, I set up, I want them to trust me. I want them to be able to know that I support them all the way, and I want them to feel safe when they think they make a mistake, and when they think they failed. I don't ever want them to think that they're a failure. I don't ever want them to think that they've done something wrong. But I want them to know that. But I don't ever say, well, why did you do that? How come you? I have a client who said that she was on another program, and she had an oops day, and her coach made her feel like a piece of dirt, made her feel, why did you do that? You shouldn't have done that. And I don't want to be that kind of coach. I don't want to be the person who, I mean, Jesus was not that, isn't that to us. When we make mistakes, he doesn't say, why did you do that? He convicts us to want to be right and to do the right things. He doesn't like, make us feel bad. And that's the same kind of attitude I want to share with my clients, is I want them to feel safe to say, hey, I just want to let you know that, yes, I did, have an oops day. But I'm able to, ask questions like, okay, so you had a couple pieces of the brownie. How did you feel about that after you ate it? What did your body feel? What did you feel? And if you were to, in the situation again, what would you do differently? So, so I try to ask questions to how to make them critical think, to have them find the answers for them. And that's a lot that I've learned from Linda, a lot of that I learned from you, Craig, is to just talk it out, talk it out and get them to find the answer instead of me just feeding them the answers.
Yeah, that's really great, Cindy. One of the things that I hear you saying is that you work on being an empathetic coach. So you work on getting in and understanding what's going on with them. And it's almost like you help them see the dots, but then you let them connect them.
Yeah.
And because if we connect them, then we've done the heavy lifting. And so it sounds like you're asking them questions and then you let them make that connection. But I think one of the pieces that I see when I say be a great coach, if you don't think you're a great coach, are you becoming better? And some people think being a great coach means, I just need to add more time. So I need to talk to every one of my clients for a half an hour. That's not a great coach, right? It's not over coaching or under coaching. It's appropriately coaching, right? So there's a fine balance there, but you are allowing the client to make the connections, and you're just there along the journey, kind of giving a nudge here, helping them, highlight something here or exposing something there and letting them consider it. And you also clearly, somehow people feel comfortable in telling other people about you, right? There's a comfort level that you have with your clients, because they're saying, when people say, wow, what are you doing? They know what to do with that. They're saying, well, I've got a great coach. Maybe she can help you. Or I don't know what they say, but whatever they say, somehow they get to you. And then you describe what you do once you get that referral, right? And so I'm curious what you do with your clients, if there's something specific that you do that allows your clients that love what they're experiencing to have the words that that those people that are noticing that get back to you somehow. Is there something that you're doing there that's intentional, that's making it happen?
Well, honestly, I genuinely love all of the people that I help, genuinely. And I want them to know that. I constantly tell them, hey, I love you. You're like a brother. You're like a sister to me. And it's really being transparent and really being genuine in really what you're doing. And if they see that you are really caring for them and that you want success in their health journey and not just kind of going through the motion and you're doing it because, they're part of your frontline volume or whatever, because people can tell what your intentions are even without you saying what your intentions are. They can tell it by the way that you talk to them and how you treat them. And I feel like, like I said, it's about that servant heart and just showing that you love them. And I tell them, I said, and it's true. I tell them, you are the reason I love being a coach. I love that I can encourage you. I love them. I'm being a part of this journey, that you're motivating me as your coach by sharing your story. I mean, they want to know. I feel like people want to know that they're a part of your success too. That they're a part of, that they're helping you as you are helping them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
They want to feel like they're a part of doing something good for you as well. I think, and even with my patients, when I'm at work, I tell them, you know, you have made a difference in my life today. I mean, people want to hear that. People will want to know how you feel about them. Mm-hmm. And so you do have to get emotional and get deep into their heart, but then they should be able to see your heart as well. Mm-hmm. And that might be hard for others, but I'm the kind of person who lays my heart on my sleeve, and so they see me in and out. They see me struggle, and I tell them that I struggle, but that's why we do this together. It's not me telling you what to do or coaching. We do this journey together, and we struggle together, but we succeed together.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. I want to, I know Linda's got something, and so Linda, you can go first, but what I want to do is, first of all, thank you. And I want to actually toss this out. I know some of you are like, I got a question. I got something to say about that. So Linda, you start us off, and then Dogpile.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing, Cindy. And for, I think a lot of this is all of us kind of figuring out when we have a success in something, if I were to try and help someone duplicate what I do, what is that? What is that emotion that I have? Or what is that action that I'm taking? And that's what Cindy and I really walked through this morning, is her kind of figuring out, oh, I am having success. And a lot of it is what this boils down to is really good client care. And that's what she summed up. She said her client care has changed. She said, when I tell people I'm going to follow up, I follow up. When I think about somebody and they're on my heart, I shoot them a text. So a lot of it is staying consistent and present in people's lives. And as she said, your perspective and your heart will be transparently, I think, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but people will be able to tell. And that makes her a safe person. And Alex said this on the chat, is when people feel safe, they will refer other people to Cindy. So their personal experience with her, because she takes good care of her people, checks in with them, when she says she will, she does, all of those component pieces make her a safe person to refer others to. And that's really what I think we came up with, is heart and actions.
Yep. Awesome. I just wrote in the chat, you can't fake being authentic. It's counter, it's polar, it's opposite. Authentic is not fake. So you can't fake it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Betsy, did you have something you wanted to say? Nope. Okay. Alex, I know you had a few comments.
Oh, I've got so much. I mean, Cindy, you're a blessing to us. I'm just so excited that you're part of this team and you're bringing your voice. This is obviously a heart you've been working on for a long time. It's a gift you've been given, and you've obviously received it. You've just passed that out to us. I hope we fully receive it. That's really all I have to say. It's just amazing. I plan on acting on what you're talking about, and I want to be intentional. When I say, I wrote the notes on what does that look like, and when am I going to implement more of some of these things that may have fallen off of my radar. Thank you.
Thank you.
One thing you said, Cindy, there too, is what if, here's an action item for all of us. What if when you're driving down the road or you're, fixing dinner or, I don't know, doing laundry, and all of a sudden, somebody's name just pops into your head.
Yeah.
Just, it's like, whoa, I haven't thought about them for a while. What if you stopped and you just shot them a text, hey, thought about you today? What if we just responded to those? I don't know when they're going to happen. I don't know who they're going to be. But what if we all were clear on what we were going to do with that? Just as it's not like I'm stacking a bunch of extra work onto my daily life. It's just a little like, I mean, maybe depending on how well you know them, you might call them up. You just came to my mind for some reason. How are you doing? But what would that look like? I don't know. I think that would be pretty cool to receive a call like that. Be like, wow, thanks for thinking about me. I'm doing great. How are you? I mean, I don't know what would you do? I know one thing we would all do. We'd feel cared for.
Craig, that was the one thing I didn't be specific about when you asked me what I was thinking, and I said everything. That was the thing that has fallen off my radar that I remember people used to tell me was, I love when you message me and you're just saying you're thinking about me and ask me about my wife or ask me about my kid. And it's like, you genuinely care about me. They'd actually tell me that. And, whereas maybe recently there's been more messages from me that have been more agenda based, more like, hey, I wanted to let you know about, just thinking about how are you doing with your, specific thing. You're right. If you just acted on that intuition of thought, I'm thinking about you. How are you today?
Yeah.
And it may not even be a big, long thing. It might be thought of you today, and they say thanks. And you move on.
I'm curious as to you, Cindy, what some of those messages actually come out like.
Yeah, actually, because I do that for my church members too, because I am a pastor's wife, and I feel like when you notice that people are gone, you want to let them know, hey, we missed you at church today. It wasn't like, hey, why weren't you here today? It's like, no, that's not good interpersonal communication. No, hey, we missed you today. I hope you're doing well. How's the family? And they'll be like, yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. Or, I think, just even at the grocery store, just to say, some guy was filling water next to me while I was filling water in my jug. And I was like, how are you doing today? And people I don't think we do it as often as we should nowadays. And like you said, sometimes we get in the groove of telling what we want, our agenda first, and then, oh, by the way, how's it going with you? Instead of like just shooting out of the gate, hey, how's it going? Like I've learned that as a nurse, instead of going, hi, I'm going to come in and take your vital signs, you go, hey, how was your night? Did you sleep well? How's your pain? Okay, let me go and check you out. And I think it's a different tone, and you set a different tone, and you gain, you want to, it's that rapport that you want. You want that good rapport from them, because the rest of your conversation, or the rest of that comes after, you've already built that trust just from the beginning, asking them, how are you doing? Because they know, man, that person actually is asking about me. They want to know about me. It's not about them. It's not about what their intentions are. They want to know what I want. And so, they respond. A lot of the times they're like, yeah, even with my clients, how are you doing today? I'm just thinking about you. How has it been? It's been a while. And then they just kind of share their heart. Hey, it's been like this. And that's where, I start coaching again with them. So.
Well, and that starts back at the very beginning with that wellness evaluation. So as all of us go in, and we know that how assisting people and finding out what they want is the starting point, but building that rapport starts off right at that beginning is, hey, just so you know, I'm not a diet coach. I'm an optimal health and wellness coach. But I want to focus on you and see if what I coach is a match. That starts the referral process, because you're building that trust from that very first conversation. And Cindy said she listens a heck of a lot more than she talks. And that's something I'm trying to get better at as well. But people, they don't remember what you say a lot. They remember how you made them feel. So I think that's a lot of what Cindy said is I get referrals because people trust me right from the beginning.
So thank you, Cindy, for your contribution to our team. We're better because you're here, and I just love the life that's in you, that's coming out. And I was just looking at your Facebook page, and wow, I haven't never known you to be the other lady that I see in some of those pictures. I've just always seen you as this petite, smiley lady, and your own personal journey. How far have you come weight wise? I know you've come a long way personal wise, but
weight wise, I've lost 25 pounds weight wise, but I've maintained, we kind of plus or minus the five. Yeah. I've maintained since February, but I lost a total of 25 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And by the way, whenever we ask people, this is just a food for thought, we all fluctuate 5 pounds. The human body does that. Like there's fluids that increase at certain times and decrease, especially if you're a woman. And so we all do that. So when we say lost, it's I lost 50, and then I fluctuate every year, roughly 5 to 8 pounds here and there. Right. And so awesome. So 25 pounds. So, you definitely, your face literally looks very different, your glasses are bigger, so your face So did you get bigger glasses, or did you shrink your face? Anyway, so a couple things moving forward, action items. So everybody has their pen and piece of paper. This is a new thing that I'm instilling or installing. We always have an action item, and we want to keep it really basic. Because if you have too many action items, you get overwhelmed, and you stick it in a drawer and you go do something fun, right? But if you have one or two action items, you can make those fun. And so,
pause for a second.
Yep.
Daniela, Kim, and Diane. That's your Evernote, right? That way you don't have so many pieces of paper everywhere. Okay, good.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole nother thing. Yeah. Where do you keep your action items? Are they in many places or one? And that's my problem is I love technology, and there's so many different ways to track to-do items that I have some here and some there. And I'm like, no, I don't care if you're awesome. I've chosen this one. So your action item is, first of all, the first one is to, when someone comes to your mind, so this is just a variable one, what are you going to choose to do with that? So figure out what you're going to do. Are you going to text them? Are you going to call them? Are you going to, what is that going to look like? And then do it. And, if you have a lot of people that come to your mind, and you drive a lot, might be a challenge, right? You don't want to be texting on the road. So you do have some ways to text people through voice. Siri, has a thing where you can say, message so-and-so, and Siri will ask you, what do you want to say? And you can do it all with your voice. But if you're in places, taking the time to stop, because people matter more than your laundry. By the way, your laundry doesn't get its feelings hurt. It doesn't have feelings. It's material, right? And your car doesn't have feelings. They won't get hurt, or they won't get excited because it's washed. Your car's a car. So think about that for a minute. People are always more valuable than things. And so stop for a second and just shoot a little, hey, how are you? So that's your first thing, is when someone comes to your mind, you connect. And then the second thing is, Cindy talked about this. When we do a well-being evaluation, we get an overall landscape of a person's life. And then we go into coaching them on weight loss, usually. How often do you go back and refresh in your mind some of those dreams that you uncovered at the beginning? I'm challenging myself with this too, to go back and look at some of their dreams they had for vacations, or some of the things they were going to do, and circle back on the stuff that's beyond the weight loss things, and ask them, hey, how are you doing in this? Would you like to start working on that thing? Let's say they wanted to go fishing once a month. That was their big goal. Well, so maybe ask them, so you want to start talking about that fishing thing that we talked about at the beginning. They're going to be blown away that you wrote that down and you brought that up. That's excellent coaching. That's coaching a human being and not a number on a scale. So when the name comes up to your mind, reach out and then go back to that well-being tracker and review those notes and figure out, what can we work on now? What is it time for this yet? And then bring that up during your weekly client coaching call. So next week, we are going to be going about the file folder system, and the ways to track clients. I'm going to just give you a quick little snapshot that you all can take a look at when we get off the phone. We're not going to go into the details right now, but by the way, there's a picture of Cindy and her son. But on the inside your Office in Motion, if you go over to the training tab, you're going to see this thing called Getting Started, Sharing Take Shape for Life with Others, Acquiring Clients, Supporting Clients. And so you might want to just take a little look. So it's under training, and just start with number one. Number one looks like this, Getting Started. It's got some different things. So we're going to talk a little bit about this next week, and specifically the Supporting Clients tab. How to support your clients their first week. Really? There's like a document there that talks about that? Crazy. So Office in Motion, training, and these 1 through 6 here. There's a bunch of great little resources for you to build that. So we're going to be talking about that next week. And then lastly, mark your here's a save the date, January 7th. Dr. A is coming to town. So that is the super regional Portland event, January 7th. So yeah, pretty big deal. We usually get a couple thousand people, 2,000 to 3,000 people that show up in Portland and to hear Dr. A talk. And so get that down in your calendar nice and early, and we'll be having more and more promotions and talking about that, so we can actually invite people to come and have a taste of this new idea about community, a healthy community. So
So
I'm not sure.
Coming this time physically?
Say that again. Yeah, well, all I know is it's the Portland Super Regional, and that's the date. So it's real early. We're still in October. So I just, when have we had notification this early, right? That's pretty great. So I'm just trying to get it to you as quickly as possible. Yeah. And then we do have a new CEO, and his name is Dan Chard, and he is moving in, taking over the primary role as chief executive from Michael McDonald. And for those of you that may or may not know what that was all about, Michael McDonald agreed, he's the brother of Brad McDonald, he agreed to come and basically helm or captain the ship for 5 years after Brad died to make sure that the company stayed going, because this was Brad's, his passion. And so it's not Michael McDonald's wheelhouse. He's more of a corporate executive, Wall Street, kind of working on that. So Michael McDonald has found somebody to replace him that has much more skills in this particular area. And Michael's going on to do the stuff he's good at, which is board of directors and Wall Street and that kind of stuff. And so this new guy, Dan, has got some serious mojo and some great skills. So that's what that change is happening about. And I just got a little bit behind the door insight that I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah,
I wanted to just say from a confidence standpoint, that's really, really key for us, and just so we know, Medifast, the parent company, is, as much as we are seeing us move away from that brand name, Optavia is going to be the brand name and Take Shape for Life as it transitions away, to have our own full brand and flavor. They needed to make that shift to somebody who understands the whole direct and relationship-based business side, just like Craig said, but they also needed somebody who could focus on the Wall Street side of things and not be diluted between the two. So Michael McDonald being able to do that has been huge. I've been following the Medifast stock for a long time, and it's actually at an all-time high right now, which is pretty amazing to see the company. And it's funny that sometimes you get weird reports that go out there, but the stock has just busted through 3 major ceilings over the last 2 years. That shows us that the trust and the fact that this company is debt-free, owns 100% of all its assets, has no loans to anyone.
$200 million in the bank, I believe.
Yeah, just in cash sitting in the bank, over $1 million. That's pretty amazing. Most companies do not have that. For us to be just recently in the last 2 months for Forbes magazine to rate it as one of the top 100 small cap companies is amazing. If you may not understand what all that terminology means, just know that we are in position. And this new guy, Dan, who came on as CEO, it matters to us to have a good CEO who understands this space and who can relate and connect to us, the people. It's pretty neat. Dr. A is fanatic right now about this transition. So I am too.
Yep. Awesome. All right, guys. Daniela, did you have your hand up, or I think I saw something?
One last thing, I did find where the trainings were for Monday and all that. So they are in your office in motion. And Craig was just showing you a moment ago on the screen. You go to your office in motion. And if you can see my screen, you go to the training tab. Oops, sorry. Go off my ticker tape there. You go to the training section at the top there, and then you go from training here to core business training, and then there they all are right here: September 19th, 26th, October 3rd, October 10th, October 17th, 24th, October 31st. Well, these haven't happened yet, obviously. They're being proactive. They're even telling you what's coming up, right? But what has happened so far is we've just had the October 3rd one, and there it is. Boom.
Yeah, what's interesting there, so as you guys see that right then, I know when I worked for Apple, they would come out with new products, and then we had to go and learn the module, and then we had to answer a little quiz, and we had to get proficiency on it. That was what I used to do with Apple, and that happened all the time. So I'm wondering if you would treat this like that. This is ongoing training, and if you aren't on these live, do you have time set aside in your professional health coach time where you go and you make it a standard practice to watch these and to develop yourself? I wonder if you have hope and wishes that's your primary strategy to make a big difference in the world, or if you're putting some practical actions behind that. That's a challenge for me too. When I say these things, the first person that hears them is me. Actually, we probably hear them at the same time, but you understand what I'm saying.
The actual intentional creation and planning for success, and actually planning your action, what you're going to do.
When I was at Apple, people would come in and they'd ask me a question about something, and I'd know the answer. Why? Because I took that little silly test and I'd watched that little thing, So, all right.
Danielle, you have a question?
Yeah, so now I'm just seeing the picture, and that's new up, but is that the actual senior coach and beyond, or is that the starting point training?
No, it's the starting point. They don't record those and put those there in that section. That's for the core business trainings that are beyond. The starting point is a repeat over and over. That was Becca Tinter's one that she did for the senior coach and beyond group.
Okay, because all right, that's the one I was looking for, because I only got to stay for part of it. So
yeah, where all the stuff is for new coaches starting is in a different section on that training. If you go to your Office in Motion, you'll see it. Play around with that. Go look in there. If you haven't looked in there for a while, they have really upgraded the way that logic looks. It looks night and day different than when it used to when they first told you about simple systems. Okay. So they truly have been simplifying it. Okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to ask you to do, we're going to end this really quickly, but what if you were to schedule every Friday, we go from 9 to 10:30 and we end right around 10. And then for a half an hour after these meetings, you act on some of these things.
Yeah.
Just right now while it's hot.
I've already started texting people so my action is I'm going to text people that have been on my mind, some goodwill, that has nothing to do with an agenda, just because they've been on my heart. Mm-hmm. And I also know this about me, that I'm going to need to be consistent with that. So it's not just a tactic that I'm doing one time and then you forget it. So.
Yep. Okay. Roll call. Diane, what's your one action step? You only get one. I'm going to go around everybody here. Give me one action step. I unmuted you. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I do time blocking. So I'm going to increase this time block to be able to catch up on my listening to training.
That's perfect. That's so practical, by the way. Well done. All right, Cindy.
I think you had mentioned to go back. We had wrote down the whys and go back and reevaluate and go back to our clients and go, hey, remember when you told me this?
So you're going to scan clients' well-being interview. And just pick up some things. Perfect action item. All right, Dean.
I've already messaged a couple of people just because I felt like I put it off from a couple of days ago. So I was feeling that like I should have done it at the time. So I've already done that. But, also just to spend the time to go through the trainings on a Friday. I think that's perfect with my schedule. So.
Awesome. Thanks. Awesome, Dean. Daniela.
Yeah, so for me, I think what Cindy made me think about was I have a few clients that didn't have that when we got together on Zoom. They didn't have that well-being eval ready. So we just had our conversation like, we always have. But now that's on my agenda to make sure that I go back and send that to them and get that so that we can round out that picture even further.
Yep, perfect. All right. Chad, are you available?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. One action item, big or small, doesn't matter.
Really, my action item would be to familiarize myself more with not only the website and kind of really being able to navigate through there, but also through kind of the health, reading on kind of the books you get. And I kind of really want to know more about the system so I can tell more people about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So Chad, I'm going to help you narrow that down. Why don't you spend a half an hour on your Office in Motion, clicking around and seeing what's there? Does that sound like a really simple thing to do?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Perfect. Kim.
I am going to change kind of the place I use the well-being evaluation to be earlier on in the conversation. So.
Great. Awesome. Martin.
Oh, you unmuted me. I'm following up with actions from yesterday.
Actions from yesterday. Perfect. All right. Pregnant lady. Oh, wait a minute here. Unmute. Try talk. Can't hear you. Interesting. Your mime is really coming along, though. I'm going to go to Debbie. We're coming back to you. Debbie.
I'm going to do what Chad is doing, familiarizing myself with the website and also texting a couple people that I
that's
love.
2 things. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Overachiever.
Okay.
Well, what you should do, if you're familiarizing yourself with the website, maybe you take 30 minutes and play around with your co-branded website. There's some really cool things. Click on the support tab. There's some super cool stuff in there. And then maybe 30 minutes playing around with your Office in Motion, clicking on that training tab, seeing what's in there. But so it's all based upon the 2 websites that we have, one for business building and one for sort of client resources, that kind of thing. Sound good?
Perfect.
My key
Sounds good.
there with that is if you do that clicking around, make sure you take notes on how you can use that. So if you find something that's a key training, then maybe schedule it in to actually watch what you saw and then make notes on how could I use this information.
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. Sounds good.
Yep. Perfect. All right, Linda. So do your cool hand signals that you know. So much fun. She's going to text people on her phone. Okay, good. Oh, no, she's going to text me. All right. Well, sorry. I don't know why we can't hear you, but you're still awesome. Oh, she is texting me now what she's going to do. So just so we have it on recording.
Bye, everybody.
See you guys. Have a great day. Come on, Linda, type faster. She's send out happy text to clients so they don't have only agenda messages. Perfect. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.